Yes, 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 yes. Tottenham Hotspur 3, Arsenal 0. Tottenham Hotspur remain fifth in the Premier League, but we are now only 1 point behind our North London rivals with 2 Premier League games to go. Welcome back to this Spurs chat where we will be discussing Tottenham's victory in the North London derby at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. What a night. We have got 3 very special guests this evening to talk about today's game. Let's introduce them. We have, first of all, got Ricky Champagne Norwood with a beer in hand. Ricky, how are you?
I am buzzing, bruv. I knew it, man. Karma, bruv. Karma. It just came through, bruv. I'm just... and a clean sheet as well. And that domination in the second half. Are you mad? Come on, man. Come on. Let's have it.
We've also got channel regular Craig with us. Craig, how are you?
I'm very well, Chris. Very, very well. All smiles this end, mate. We'll get into this tonight. I'm looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to this because we've been waiting for that since January. Imagine getting the game called off so you've got a better opportunity to win it and then getting your arse handed to you. Up yours, Arsenal.
Come on.
We've also got Richard Whitehead, MBE, with us. Rich, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not as stressed as an hour ago. Mate, what a result. We smashed the Gunners. Thank goodness. What a game. We deserve that.
Absolutely smashed them. Absolutely smashed them, as you say, Rich.
Yeah. Absolute rubbish.
We'll get into all of it, Rich. We'll get into all of it. Ricky, let's start with you. Simple question for you. What did you make of today's game?
Are you joking, bruv? Like it was payback time. It was everything that we wanted.
Did you watch it in the toilet, Ricky?
No. I was in the front room, bro. But I made enough noise. Listen, I had my dad round and I had one of my brothers round, and we was screaming down the house, bro.
I heard you, man.
I thought the neighbours were going to call the police on us. I swear to you, bro. So, like, I can't be shouting down the house tonight, bro. The missus needs her sleep. Otherwise, you know what I mean? It's drama.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble, man.
You know what I mean? But no. Listen, I had to make some noise. I had to be in the quietest room in the house, bro, because what a performance. Listen, we owed them that. The way that they were running in January. Do you know what? It was a professional Conte performance as well. Like I felt we could have had 4, 5, 6 tonight. Honestly, we took our foot off the gas as soon as we scored that third one tonight. But the way in which we played, bro, showed me how much they want it, how much is clicking right now, how much everyone's bedding into play. Both Sessegnon and Royale today. My gosh, the responsibility was put on them, and they're stepping up. It's in the most important part of the season where we could actually qualify, we could actually achieve something this season at the business end. And these 2 boys, it's been put on them. They haven't got the backup with Reguilon or Doherty being able to help them out. Nah, it's on you. And they've been stepping up, and I've been loving it, bro, from top to toe. I tell you one thing before we carry on. Let me tell you what epitomized this performance today. It was before the first goal. When Kulusevski ran all the way, chased the ball down, he chased down 3 Gunner players all the way down to the goalkeeper, put him under pressure. Sonny's on the left-hand side, picked the ball back up. The way we hustled and we hunted today, it's what I needed to see, bro. I'm buzzing. Let's have it. Let's have it.
Ricky, before we move on, who played like a Champions League team tonight, and who's going to get that 4th spot?
Mate, there was only one Champions League side today, and that's what that second half showed you. The way, I know all of us, I think all of us were the same. Just keep going, keep putting the pressure on, keep scoring, bury him. Like, I know that was in us all today, but the way that they slowed down the game, controlled it, they were professional, bro. We looked like a proper Conte team today, bro. But everything came together. Hugo was a fantastic captain. Do you know what I mean? He was all over it. The same way he was all over it against Liverpool. That's what I saw, that spark in him as well. So from top to toe, bro, there's only one Champions League team, bro. And that's the one with, I quote from Mr. Chris Cowlin off of Sky Sports, a world-class manager. Do you know what I mean?
World-class manager. Absolute world-class manager. And as Enrique says here on screen, amazing atmosphere out there. It was absolutely electric at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium tonight. So fair play to every single fan. They gave absolutely everything, as did the team. Craig, let's come to you. Your thoughts on today's match?
Yeah, just echo what Ricky said. I mean, it was the atmosphere. It's all about the fans being the 12th man. They were the 12th, 13th, and 14th man tonight. I mean, it was just, I don't know how loud it was in the stadium, Chris, but Christ, it could really come over on the telly that just how much they seem to be sucking the ball into the net half the time there, because the noise, it was almost relentless, absolutely relentless. And you could see after we did settle down, because Arsenal did have that first 5-10 minutes, you know, they were in the game. But
yeah,
you could see they were almost intimidated after we got that first goal, and they did not know what to do after the sending off. And after that point, I was. Do you know? I think it's the most confident. Sounds funny to say when you're 2-0 up and with that your opposition's down to 10 men, but at real no point did I think we need another one here, or else they're gonna come back into this. They're gonna come. They just didn't look like scoring to me, and I was very relaxed throughout the whole game. To be fair. It was just an unbelievable performance. It was one of the best North London derbies I can actually remember in recent history, and I think it's one of the biggest wins we've had since 1950s. I think over them. I believe that's right, because it's been very. Might be wrong in that. I can't remember what the stat was, but regardless, what a great way to get within a point of Arsenal, and now. Let's go and get the points against Burnley, which we'll come on to later, I know. But, you know, heads down, get that win, and then the pressure's back on them. And I've always loved Magpies, so I might have to get my Newcastle shirt out from somewhere. Speak to me, Geordie, mate. Get him to send me one in the post.
Rich, let's come to you. Your thoughts on today's game, because, of course, before the match, every single Arsenal fan, every single Tottenham Hotspur fan, we're all nervous about a North London derby, aren't we?
100%. I was like so nervous. Saw the lineup. Romero not in. I was like, holy crap, what the hell? Sanchez in. He's like, looks so nervous on the ball. Today, first 10-15 minutes, it was a little bit tippy-tappy. Ball came to him, he was getting rid of it. He was like, before it came to him, he was getting rid of it. Then it obviously started to spray the ball around a little bit, started to gain that confidence. Like Ricky was saying about our wing backs, the confidence, you could see the confidence in the team. But the midfield pairing today, boom, boom, boom.
Arsenal get battered.
We kicked their arse today. You know what I love? You know what I love about today's game is that we didn't lay off the pedal. Like, we controlled the game, even when they had a little bit of the ball. Let them have it in those areas that it couldn't hurt us, and then we just put on the pedal a bit, pressured the ball, got it back, and said, "No, guys, no." Even the hot shots that they had one. I think Odegaard had one, right, where he had a chance. Apart from that, we're pissed all over him today. I'm really happy. Conte, amazing, like amazing. He's made above average players look great.
Do you know what, Rich? Let's stay with you, because let's talk a little bit about Antonio Conte. I was going to talk about the lineup, but you know, every single time I look at the manager, and I look at him quite a lot during the game because he's so animated on that. You know what? He has really, really transformed this team, like you've said. Yeah. You know, he's turned a lot of average players. You know, even Emerson Royale against Liverpool at the weekend, against Arsenal again tonight. He has really improved now, hasn't he?
Yeah, for sure. And even his delivery, he's getting the ball. I think what's happening is he gets the ball, and the first thought is he's getting that ball in. Instead of trying to tippy-tappy, then have 3 or 4 yards, and then whipping the ball in, and he's closed down. Emerson Royal, again, he's got more confidence on the ball, and also his teammates have got more confidence with him on the ball as well, which is more important. When he's in those positions, and I don't know if you noticed in the second half, he was coming inside as well. He was getting so much room. He's coming inside to get involved in the play. Early on the season, all he did is stick in that position, and he was up and down, up and down. He's getting more confident, and that's Conte has literally given every player certain jobs to do in certain situations, and they stuck to it. Ben Davis wasn't a 7 out of 10 tonight. It was an 8. It was a 9 out of 10. It was all over the place. Højbjerg was getting back, being in that back four, kind of helping Sanchez out a little bit when he was getting caught out. Unbelievable. Great result. And I've had 4 now. So it might get a bit
It's nice to see you smiling so much, Rich. It really is.
I know.
We've done a lot of these shows.
And boring.
Yeah, well, all of us, we've done a lot of these shows over the course of the season, and we've had a lot of ups and downs, more downs, under Nuno Espirito Santo at the start. But Ricky, let's come to you. Of course, one change which surprised everybody: Davinson Sanchez coming in for Christian Romero, so the team lineup as full. Hugo Lloris in goal, back three of Sanchez, Dyer, Davis, wing backs Emerson Royale and Sessegnon, in midfield Højbjerg and Bentancur, and then the forward three of Kulusevski, Heung-min Son, Harry Kane. Honestly, Ricky, how are you feeling? When you saw that lineup an hour before kickoff.
Well, you know what? That's the only thing that made me a little bit nervous. Romero has been outstanding for us since he's come back into the team after injury. He has been absolutely outstanding for us. Not only to give confidence in that back line, but his performances, his blocks, even that diving header he done. What was it against? Liverpool?
Liverpool
in the last game. Like, there's so many commanding performances that he's put in that I was just like, ooh, that one did make me a little nervous. And in the first 5-10 minutes, where the Gooners, they had a lot of the play, or they had their best little spells in their first 5-10 minutes. And I was like worried about Sanchez, but you know what? Little bit by little bit, he grew into the game. And like the boys have been saying there about Conte has just simplified the game, especially for like Sanchez. Simplify it. Listen, take a short pass or get rid of it. Hoof it up. And then little bit by little bit, as he grew into the game, he got more confident on the ball. And then he started making more like ranger passes or bombing forward a little bit. Or, you could see that in Royale, like you were saying there, he just like grew in confidence. He kept it simple for him. But now when he gets his confidence, like you were saying there, Rich, that he can now cut inside and stuff like that. We've seen the growth in Cess, So, yeah, I was a little bit nervous, but after the first 5-10 minutes, when Sanchez warmed into the game, I was like, you know what, we're all right, because Conte, again, he simplified the game for him, kept it really, really simple. And you saw, after the first 5-10 minutes, mate, we had control of this game. We played with our tails up, like we was at them. We hunted impact, we pressurized, we made sure we went 1-0 up. Their only tactic was to get onto Son. That was it. Either wind him up, get him sent off, or injure him, or get him off the field. That was their only tactic. And to be fair, do you know what? I haven't heard Conte's comments as yet, and I'm sure you'll let us know, Chris. But I heard Arteta's just before I came in. And I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, maybe he's trying to deflect it off of his players and stuff like that, trying to say that certain decisions went against him. But to be fair, that referee today, he actually played it fairly. He actually was a fair ref. He let the first couple of tackles go. He gave him a warning. Then he gave him a yellow. And then when that elbow came out, it was a second yellow. See you later. Goodbye. Do you know what I mean? There could have been, and then he was dishing out a ton of yellows in the second half as well. So, to tell you the truth, I think he had a fair game. I don't know what Arteta was talking about, bro. So, anyway, I'm just buzzing, bro. Sorry. I don't know what I'm ranting about anymore. The Moretti's hitting now, bro. It ain't the German. The Moretti's hitting. Goodness gracious.
Rick, how impressed have you? It is probably a really silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How impressed have you been with Conte and since his arrival early November? Because like I keep saying, this man has transformed this team.
He has, bro, and he's had some rough patches to go through as well. And it's the way that he's been able to turn those rough patches into learning lessons. Do you know what I mean? To make sure that if they didn't hear it, then that mistake would be repeated again, and we would lose a certain game. And then he picked them back up, and he's like, "Look, see, this is why we need to do A, B, and C." And we've seen them respond to it. I mean, I didn't know he was going to have this effect on us, honestly. Like, our best hopes were a Europa League place, if we're all to be fair. Do you know what I mean? If we say it right. He's got us, with the ups and downs, we've had COVID, we've had, do you know what I mean? Like, with the amount of things that's happened. Harry Kane, at the beginning of the season, Nuno, Like we've gone through the ups and downs. Do you know what I mean? Getting rid of 4 players in January, bringing in 2. If you just want to think about the numbers, the way those 2 have had an impact on our first team, and from January onwards have affected this 11 and affected this team, and how we've improved. It's just next level. Everything is kind of blended into this last little period of time where Conte is at his best. This is the business end. This is what he does best, and we're seeing it, and it excites me to see it. Look, we know we're not over the line yet. Do you know what I mean? Nothing's guaranteed right now, but I'm excited because I can see the boys putting his plans into action and us turning back into a proper team again. Do you know what I mean? A team that can challenge. A proper team. Excited, bruv. Oh.
Wait, you say nothing's guaranteed, Rick. We're guaranteed Europa League football, but of course, you know, we want to take it right to the wire, and we want Champions League. Of course, we want to hear that.
It's happening.
Do you know what? But it's happening. Do you know what, Rick? What I absolutely loved tonight at the Spurs Stadium, and you know, the fans didn't stop singing, but literally every 5 to 10 minutes during the game, every fan kept singing Antonio, and Antonio Conte is absolutely lapping it up. He's absolutely loving all of the love from the Spurs fans, and it's just so nice to see. And there's, you know, that real connection again. And I don't think I've felt this connection since Pochettino. And
me too.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it right now. Craig, let's come to you. Let's talk about the starting 11. How did you feel when you saw Davinson Sanchez on the team sheet and Christian Romero out?
Oh, I was a shock, to be honest, because whether Conte knew yesterday at the press conference, he obviously did have an inkling or, you know, an idea that he couldn't play. I don't know if he failed a late fitness test or whatever, but obviously it was just a shock because I think, like everybody, I assumed that it would be the same starting 11 as versus Liverpool. And because it was weird, because I was just glanced up at Sky Sports and saw the ticker across the bottom. I thought, I'm sure that said only changed Sanchez in for Christian Romero. I thought, that's weird. I must have read that wrong.
He arrested him because Arsenal are shit.
Yeah, it must have been. But I was, it just goes to show, doesn't it? Yeah. I was a bit worried. I'll be honest with you, I was a bit worried. Obviously disappointed as well. But, you know, Sanchez came in, as Richard said, he had a nervy 5-10 minutes at the start, which you're going to expect a bit because he knows what the fans think of him in general. You know, he doesn't want to put a foot wrong, so he's going to take the safe option. But he did grow into the game. I thought he played very well in the end. I think I'd probably give him at least a 7 out of 10. I thought he was very good, grew into the game, and really didn't look out of place, which was the main thing. And he didn't let us down. He didn't really have that Sanchez moment, really. But the rest of the team picks itself at the moment, doesn't it? And it was good to see Bergwijn and Mora get a few minutes as well. It was actually really good to see Sonny upset coming off, because that's what you want to see in your strikers. He obviously wanted a goal. Saying the golden boot doesn't mean anything. I knew that's rubbish. As a striker myself, even nowhere near the standard they were, you want to be top scorer. I don't care what anybody says. Shearer always said it. He never shied away from it. I want to be top scorer. And that is it. So he'll want that record. And he saw today they were there for the take, and he thought he might have been able to get another 1 or 2. So good to see. I'll never mind seeing players disappointed to come off. So that was really good. And there's not much that can upset me now tonight because the boys have done us proud. So going on from what Ricky said, Arteta, you wouldn't have seen this, Chris, but he came out basically and said, if I talk, I'll be banned for 6 months. He said, I cannot talk about referees. I'm really proud of my players, and I'm looking forward to Monday night. I want to be on the touchline Monday night, and I don't want to be suspended. So I don't know what he's talking about there. I don't know how he can argue the sending off, the penalty, whatever. He said, we wanted to play a game. We were so excited to play. You could see how we started. It was a beautiful occasion, and it was destroyed. Well, I'm sorry, but it was your defender that destroyed it for you, and then Tottenham ripped you apart, mate. So on your bike, son.
Love it, Craig. Craig, let's stay with you because in the 21st minute, of course, Tottenham Hotspur were awarded a penalty. Talk to me about this penalty decision. Was it the correct decision? Because I've literally run to the car from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I've not had a chance to see the replay for the penalty. Can you guys enlighten me anymore?
It was a penalty, 100%. And to be honest, I don't give a toss if it wasn't a penalty. I don't care if you. No, it was. In all seriousness, it was, Chris. And that's not me with my Tottenham head on. The guys in the studio said it was a penalty. I don't know anybody that hasn't said it was a penalty. It was. He came through the back of him, 100%, 100%. And VAR was never going to overturn it anyway. So, you know, yeah, I don't think you're almost in a stage where I know VAR makes some funny decisions. But things with penalties, they generally get right, I'd like to think. When the referee's given it, they tend to back up the referee. And I think Ricky and Richard would back me up on that. It was a penalty, wasn't it? 100%.
Yeah, sure.
100.
Rich, do you want to add any more on that penalty decision?
Yeah, no, 100%. It was both defenders obviously played their part in obviously obstructing Sonny. He was following the flight of the ball. He would have got his head onto it. And I think the problem is because the line of sight for the ref, he saw one angle and he saw that obstruction. Well, obviously, initially on the television, you saw a different angle and there was a little bit of an awful, but then it was definitely, I think it was definitely 100% obstruction and it was a penalty. And like I say, last 20, is it 20? Harry's dispatched 20 on the bounce from the penalty spot. So he's not going to miss, is he really?
Yeah.
Rick, let's come to you. Of course, Harry Kane slotted the ball home, hitting the side of the back of the net. He never misses now, does he?
He's next level. He's next level, bro. He has honed his craft. He doesn't. He's not one of the last out of training if he ain't practicing his penalties. Not only for club but for country as well. Do you know what I mean? He was clever himself. He thought about it. He knows that he's taken a couple of shots and a couple of penalties against Ramsdale on England duty. He knows that. So he was thinking about it himself. But you know what? He strikes the ball so cleanly with so much power, so crisply, that even if Ramsdale went the right way, I still don't think he would have got nowhere near it.
His last five were the other side as well. His last five were the other side. So he went the other side. Like sold him a dummy straight away. Like he would have done his research around obviously where Harry puts it. And he'd have gone there. Harry would have known, I've just got to put it to the other side. Just like you said, Rick, really strong into the corner. Thank you very much. Back to the centre circle.
Let's crack on. And 100% deserved.
Stop wasting my time, man.
that was it.
Yeah.
Well, in the 27th minute, Tottenham went close again. Harry Kane with a shot, which was blocked. Emerson Royale then went close. In the 29th minute, a good cross from the right. Harry Kane tried to tap in, but cleared. And then came the red card in the 33rd minute, holding. Craig, talk us through the red card.
Well, it's interesting because holding should have been booked about 5 minutes before he actually got his first yellow because he basically kicked Son in the back. A bit of a surprise. I couldn't believe that he didn't get a card for that, but he obviously got a card for holding him initially, and then you know I can't remember who played the ball. It might have been Dyer. I might be wrong with that, but the ball come over and he just basically blocked him. And again, it could have been a straight red on another day. To be honest, you've seen him given. I'm not saying it should have been, but I've seen him given. Would have been surprised, but yeah, definitely a yellow. Deserves sending off, and I just think Holding was interesting. They said this on Sky, and I agree with it. Holding was obviously trying to wind Son up and get him injured, sent off. It actually had the reverse effect, and it went in Son's benefit and our benefit. So he totally got that wrong. He's obviously whether the managers told him to do that, I don't know, but he had a nightmare, absolute nightmare, and of course he's cost his team. Not that I'm that bothered, but he's cost his team, and the game changed on that, to be honest, but I think we were coming back into the game then anyway. The only very small thing is we have tended to we started slowly again, and I would just love to see us fly out the traps at a team. That's the only thing about tonight. Again, we did start slowly. I'm not saying Arsenal had loads of chances, they didn't, but I'd just like to see us, something like Burnley on Sunday, I'd love to see us go out there and blow them away early. But that's a very little thing. I'm sure Conte knows more than me in that respect, so I'll let him get on with it.
Well, in the 35th minute, Harry Kane took a free kick to Ryan Sessegnon, but couldn't connect properly on the volley. I seem to love these moves at the moment, where they seem to be involving the wing back so much more now. Rich, let's come to you. How impressed have you been with Sessegnon and Emerson Royale? Because as I touched on earlier on, you know, Emerson in the last couple of games, it's just been sensational. You know, compared to form, you know, where he had received a lot of criticism from a number of fans.
Yeah, and me myself, I've criticised his work rate, his ability to cross the ball, decision making, and you can tell. Obviously, he's got 2 or 3 things to do when he's tracking back. Make sure you keep the player, keep the winger into that sideline. Make sure he's away from goal and just keep on them all the time. He's very active with the ball. When the ball's at his feet in the last third, he's whipping that ball in a lot better, and he's always looking for that back pace for Sessegnon coming onto that. I can see against Burnley or in the last game that working really well. I can see that being something that we play on like we have done in the previous couple of weeks. Very impressive. Also, like I said earlier, coming inside, getting involved in the game when there's nothing really going on in his area. I think there was once when he got caught in behind once in the game, and that was great for him. I think confidence-wise, Conte literally put his arm around players like Emerson and said, "Look, I believe in you. Look, this is your chance. There's nothing behind you really to really push you personally, but I'm the manager and I'm going to give you confidence. You've got the tools. Just do these simple things. Get the ball in, track back, and limit the space for the attacking player." Really good. It really surprised me how well he's adapted. And Sessegnon's growing game after game. He needs to work on the end product, clearly. But if that comes, hopefully we have the Bale effect.
Rick, same question to you on the wing backs. How impressed have you been with them? Because we've done a number of these shows during the course of the season, and we've always been worried about the wing backs that we've got, particularly under Antonio Conte and the system that he likes to play. And he's finally getting the best out of them.
Yeah, he is, mate. He is. But like I said last time, I think right now, you know, Sessegnon, let me start with Sess, because Sess has been up and down for me. There's times that his body language or how he passes, how he runs, sometimes it looks like he's a bit worried or scared, and that might be to do with injuries, or that might be to do with like not wanting to make a mistake and stuff like that. So when he drops out, he knows Reguilón's there to kind of take the reins for a couple of games. That gives him a couple of more games to rest up or to improve his game or to gain a bit more confidence. But right now, it's responsibility. Like Rich was saying there's no one behind you right now. Reguilón's out for the rest of the season. It's you. So now the pressure's on you at the business end of the season. What can you do right now? Conte has already said about Cess many times, and he's made a point when he's been asked about another player, he's made the point to switch the question to Sessegnon to kind of go, let me just tell you, I really think he's a fantastic player. I think he's great on one-on-ones. I think he's going to be, not just great for club, but for country as well. He said these things. So he's building the confidence. He's letting Cess know that he believes in what he can give to the game. But you've got to give it now. Show me that you can give it. Show me that when the time comes that you can deliver when I'm asking you to deliver. And I saw that against Liverpool last week. I saw him not really worry, but go for it. And you know, mark Salah as well as try and push forward and as well as try and make something happen. And he got his assist. When we're talking about Emerson Royale, he's had an up and down season. Now, I've said many a times, firstly, give him a minute, because the one thing that he said at the beginning of the season is that he likes to know the language so that he can communicate and understand what's going on, not just in the dressing room and in training, but on the pitch. So he when he went to Spain, he learned Spanish. Wherever he's gone, he's tried to learn the language so that he can understand the teammates and the manager. So he wanted to do that. So little bit by little bit, he's had an up and down seasons. There's times that he was the preferred, he was the right back that was the money was spent on, and you know, look, it's yours. We've got rid of Serge. Look at that move as well. Like, I'm sure we'll come back to that. But the fact that they paid up his contract went, no, you know what, you can go on a free, no worries. We're going to go for Royale. So Royale, the shirt's yours. Show us what you got. And that's pressure. So he's had an up and down season. He had a dip, and Doherty came in, maybe January and had a period of time where he grew into the game. And
he's Chris's favourite player. Now he's got his shirt. Chris's favourite player, Doherty. I tell you, man.
In it. But you know what? Every Tottenham fan at that point was like, Royale, you know, all right, he's on his way. Let's put him on the shopping list. See you later, Royale. It's about Doherty right now. Doherty's the one that's given us something. Doherty's gone. Now the responsibility is on you. Again, the same message. What can you do when it comes down to the crunch? Can you deliver? Can you show me? Because I believe in you. I know that you're a young player. I understand about the language. I understand about the culture. But I believe in you and what you can do. Let's simplify your game and go and deliver for me. And he has grown, especially in the big games. And remember, he's a Brazil international as well. So he likes a big game. But he's starting to show it himself. And I'm just so happy for both him and Sesh, especially today, that they've come out and given a performance like that and let everybody know that there is performances like that in their locker. And that's just the baseline right now. Do you know what I mean? They've got a very high ceiling. So let's see what else comes.
Yeah, so important at the business end of the season as well. Craig, let's come to you. Shortly after the red card, of course, Spurs went 2-0 up. Harry Kane scoring his second of the game. Of course, Harry Kane loves a North London derby goal, the highest goal scorer in North London derbies in the history. Talk us through that second goal.
Yeah, we scored so many tonight. I can't remember what it was like, to be honest. I'm joking. No, it was. Do you know what? Whenever we've had a corner, I'm thinking you might as well just knock it out for a goal kick because we never score from corners. And lo and behold, we score from a set piece from a corner tonight. So it was interesting because they picked it up on the telly and I'd spotted it. Nketiah was marking Kane. He just switched off. He's a striker. You know, if they had brought a defender on, if Ben White had come on, you might think they'd have stuck him on Kane a bit more switched on, but good flick on by Bentancur and Harry Kane at the back post just to nod in. And the only risk with that, thought he might have been offside, but he wasn't. He was well onside. And yeah, 2 quick fire goals, and you know we're 2-0 up. I just read a quote here. Ali Gold's put on Conte on Arteta. Listen to this. He complains a lot, he said. He has to focus on his work and continue to work because he's very good. To hear someone complain all the time is not good. At Liverpool, do you hear me complain about Fabinho? No. He can take my advice if he wants, but if not, I don't care. Brilliant. That is fantastic. That is brilliant.
So he's put Klopp in his place last week and Arteta in his place tonight.
Honestly, listen, people worrying about. I still can't quite get where people are saying about Conte's going to go at the end of the season. I don't understand it because he's got another year on his contract with another year as an option, right? He's only been here 7 months. Why do people keep banging on about Conte going if he doesn't get what he wants? Levy has to back him. I can't see in any world where he's going to say to Conte, no, sorry, we can't afford to get any players, mate. He's seen what he can do. It would be suicide. It would be business suicide if he doesn't back him. And Conte ain't going nowhere. Trust me, he's not going anywhere. Honestly, he's in it now. He can see he's got the players in the palm of his hand. He can see the fans love him. Where else would he? Would you really want to go PSG?
It's a great point though, Craig, because you know when you think of the January transfer window, we only brought in 2 players. We offloaded more players than we actually brought in, and we're a better team and squad now than what we were before because Conte has improved every single player. So that is my only worry, really, the fact that Conte keeps improving all of these players. I'm just hoping that we still do go out with real intention in the summer. And the board don't say to Conte, well, you've improved all these players. We don't actually need to go out and spend much money in the summer now. Yeah. So I really hope that does still happen.
Well, the thing is, though, I think somebody said it before, these players, he has improved all of them. But I think a lot of them are at a ceiling, you know. And he said he doesn't want to, well, he'll take the top 4, obviously, this season. But he wants to be up here. He wants to be up with the Cities and the Liverpools. He doesn't want to be here. And that's where we're going to be if we don't invest. So to get to that level, we have to improve on what we've got. We can't stand still. We've tried it once, didn't work. So, you know, they've got to back him and they've got to give him the players he wants. And that might not mean that they bring in players we've all heard of. We might have to do the Danny Rose Googling a bit, but you've got to trust Paratici, and you've got to trust that Conte knows what he's doing. Because I personally had never heard of Bentancur and Kulusevski before they came. I hadn't, because I don't watch Italian football anymore. Because Football Italia used to be one of the only shows on telly, but now, Italian football's not on as much. I don't watch it. They came in, but you got to trust. I remember we had a show, didn't we? We said we got to trust what they're doing. They know these players. They know they're going to fit in, and they slotted in beautifully, and they've worked a treat. So we've got to trust what they're doing, but they must be backed. And I personally think they will be backed, because it would be suicide if they didn't back them.
Rich, let's come to you. I think the only thing that could have really topped off Emerson Royale's night is with a goal. In the 42nd minute, Emerson missed from a cross, actually, from Ryan Sessegnon. He should have perhaps got on the score sheet tonight, shouldn't
he? Yeah, there are a couple of chances. And it's obviously the chance came and it was like a snapshot. There's a couple of other opportunities where maybe a different time he would have cut it back for Kane. I think there was one opportunity where he just hit through the ball and he could have maybe given it back to Kane. And again, those kind of things add to confidence. Sessegnon needs one of those. I feel if he's got the end product, we've got a different kind of player. But like Craig said, definitely some of the players are playing above the ability that we thought that they had within the team, and investment is needed 100%, because Conte's not at Spurs to get into the top four. He's at Spurs to win things. You can tell that he wants to be challenging for the title. He wants those 5 or 6 players, and I think he's going to go away from the model of Spurs in the past, where it would be we're going to invest in a younger player that's got potential in the future. I think we're going to go for proven players that either have played under Conte, that Conte's seen in the Italian league, or that are players established in the Premier League that are going to hit the field running. We're really lucky with obviously the 2 that we got in the January market. They basically slotted in the team, and within a game they'd improved the team drastically. You look at what we were talking about before with Harry Winks, or that sideward movement. Now it's like win the ball back, and Bentancur want to bring that ball out or pass that ball forward, bring players in. It's a totally different team because the players are more confident with the ball. So yeah, the Royal, I'll go back to your question. I think over the next 2 games, I can see both him and Sess getting a goal and kind of taking that confidence into the summer.
To talk about the other defenders as well, Rich, certainly over the last couple of months, and whilst Antonio Conte has really improved Eric Dyer, and bringing in Ben Davies the way he has as well, they've been remarkable, haven't they?
Yeah, and I think we don't talk about Eric Dyer because it's kind of the expectation is that he turns up, he gives that good performance, but you can tell from his body language, he's leading that line. I saw every time that the crosses were coming in, Eric was kind of marshalling that back 3, back 5, obviously when the wing backs were in there, like real positive body language. Him and Højbjerg, every time there was like a tackle won at the back, it was like a punch in the air. Really impressed. I think Davis fitted into that side as a kind of unorthodox centre back, has brought us a little bit of a different dimension. He's somebody that doesn't only obviously work on that side, but also comes inside to kind of cut off that shot that comes in. Against Liverpool with Salah, a couple of times he obviously did that. And today as well, you could tell the first 5 or 6 minutes, the back 3 a little bit unstable, but I think they all came together with the marshalling of Eric. So yeah, really, really impressed. And I think Eric Dyer is going to grow and grow and grow and get his England place back, I think.
I hope so. Yeah, deserves it.
He deserves it, 100%.
Rick, would you agree with that on Eric Dyer? Because it's funny, isn't it? Pochettino always seemed to love Eric Dyer. Jose loved Eric Dyer, and now Conte is loving Eric Dyer, and now he's given these performances week in, week out. And what sort of strikes me as well is that we are seeing so many leaders on the pitch, and particularly at the start of this season under Nuno, we said, well, where are the leaders? We were looking for the leaders as fans, but we're seeing a lot of leaders out there at the moment.
Mate, it's night and day, and really and truly, I'm happy for Dyer. He's had a rough couple of seasons. Do you know what I mean? Like when he was playing at DM and he was getting turned left, right, and centre, and then when he first started playing at centre back, and look, he's learned his game. You know, he made mistakes, but he's learned his game, and we've seen him improve and kind of step up little bit by little bit by little bit. But I think under Conte, he's an absolutely different player. He starts off so many moves and so many attacks. He's the communicator. He's the conductor. He's the metronome. He does so many things right now that it's like Rich said there. I think we take him almost like for a little bit for granted. It's only when he makes a howler that we can go, Eric Dyer, he should have done this, he should have done that. But right now, I think you're all the boys are absolutely right that we need to be praising what the leadership that he's brought to the field, not and all over it, not only in defending, but in, like I say, the communication and in setting the tempo and in setting the game and being that calming influence on the whole side. He's been fantastic. And Davies has been next level. Today, his yellow card was like one of the best yellow cards he could have ever pulled. Do you know what I mean? Not only was he blocking left, right, and centre and was man of the match against Liverpool, but he's coming today. We're seeing next level performances from him. If we was to sell Davies now, I think I would be upset because I need him in the squad at least. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be a lot of games next season, so I need him at least in the squad so that whichever defender we buy at left centre back, firstly, that new left centre back has got time to bed in. We don't have to put all the pressure on him straight away. We can let him accumulate to the culture and the language and the tempo and all of that jazz, and rely on Davies, because right now Davies' performance has been that's what's blown my mind. I think out of all the players, do you know what I mean? It's been how he stepped up and how he's taken on the tactics and how he's grown as a leader at left centre back. Do you know, it's been so good to see. So yes, I totally agree with what the boys are saying there, and it's great to have them in the squad. Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? Like, and to see them go, we don't know where their ceiling is now. I thought I knew it, but I ain't got a clue how far that both of those players could go for our team and our club.
Craig, let's come to you. 2 minutes before half time, of course, Spurs were 2-0 up, but Hugo Lloris made a fantastic save, tipping over the bar.
It was important.
Oh, cracking save! Yeah. I must admit, when he first hit it, I thought he was going over, but oh god, that's dipping. Yeah, fantastic save from Hugo. He's always been a great shot stopper like that, and just earned his money tonight, didn't he? Roy Keane might say, well, he's a goalkeeper. That's his job to save shots. But and to a degree, I do agree with what he says. That is his job. But he didn't have tons to do, but he was aware and did his job. And I'm sure a clean sheet against Arsenal, that's going to mean double to him. Let me just read a quote from Conte. What he said here. We are saying lots of positive things, but on Sunday we need to do it again. The fans need to do it again because they were amazing tonight. They scored one goal for us and we got the rest. So, you can't say.
This is why I love this guy.
Yeah, exactly. And it just goes back to what I was saying earlier. We all love Conte. Every fan I know loves Conte. You always get a manager, like when Nuno was here, even when we won the first 3 games, people weren't sure about Nuno. I think all of us, we weren't sure about Nuno. Perhaps not I said it on here, but we weren't. Conte, I haven't heard one Spurs fan say anything negative about him. And that speaks volumes. So, yeah, we've got to back him. We've got to stick with him. And if you stick with Conte and back Conte, Kane ain't going anywhere because Haaland's gone City. And where's Harry Kane going to go? Come on, he ain't going to go United. That's a step down at the moment, isn't it? They're in turmoil. So, please back him, Mr. Levy.
That's what I was saying though, Craig, earlier about the fans constantly singing his name, because every Spurs fan at the moment just absolutely adores the guy. And when you can, like he said many times, if we can get that 4th spot, it would be like winning the Champions League, because who would have thought in November we could even qualify for the Europa League, let alone have a chance for the Champions League, 10 days, left of the season. So this guy can really achieve things. He really can. I just want to go around all 3 of you and just ask you, who would you choose as your man of the match? Craig, let's start with you.
I would probably go with what Sky voted Harry Kane. I just think he had another superb game. I think Bentancur ran him pretty close, actually. I thought he was quite impressive tonight. I think Kane would just edge it because he come up with the goods again. Yes, it's his job to score goals, but he led from the front again. So for me, Kane man of the match.
Rich?
Well, I'll go a bit left field. Højbjerg, I think, for me. I think somebody that does a lot of work off the ball, did a lot of work defensively and in midfield. Really, there's been a couple of games when we've looked at his play with the ball and criticised how he passes, and some of the balls have gone a bit of astray tonight. Flawless with that. Obviously, Harry and Sonny are always going to get the plaudits, but for me, the two guys in the centre of midfield really pulled the strings and looked like a good, I'm not saying a perfect, looked like a good partnership, obviously, going forwards. I think, obviously, for next season, maybe upskilling that a little bit, maybe getting somebody else in there. But I think at the moment, really did put Arsenal to the sword tonight.
What about you, Rick?
You know what, bro? I agree with both the boys, but I think there's a claim for every single player that played tonight. You know, apart from the subs, because of the timings that they had. But do you know what I mean? Like, I think Lloris could have got it easily for not only the saves, but the kind of confidence and the leadership that he showed as a captain. You know how he drove that back line on. I think we've just spoken about Dyer. I think Sanchez, even Sanchez, the fact that he grew into the game, he could have a shout for man of the match. Davies, we've just spoken about Davies there. His yellow card alone could have got him man of the match. Then we've spoken about the wing backs already. Cess, Royale, do you know what I mean? Both of those boys in midfield. Bentancur again, who is he's silky. He is like Galaxy chocolate, bruv. He is just smooth, bruv. He is super bloody well smooth, let me tell you. And in Højbjerg, again, another player. I know we're talking about upgrades, but that guy leaves everything on the field for us, and he's done it for a couple of seasons. And there's been some performances that he's had dips in, but those I kind of sign up to being like knackered, to being run into the ground at sometimes because of the responsibility not only that's been put on him, but he puts on himself to cover and to fix and to plug the holes in the side when certain things get broken up. He was outstanding in breaking up the play. Again, leadership. Again, you could see him every time there was a shot saved or a shot on goal. He was the one that was like, ooh, like you could see him every single time. Then Sonny, of course, all day long. Kane, all day long. Kulu, the work rate that boy put in, the skill, the turns, the intelligence that boy's got, like, oh my gosh, bro! So can
I just stop you there, Rick?
Everyone.
I'm surprised we've got 48 minutes in and no one has mentioned Kulusevski because I thought he was outstanding tonight.
Oh, mate, his turn of pace, the way his strength, the work rate off the ball, the way that he was chasing down players, the way that he was hustling, he was always like the third man in the hustle to make sure that we won the ball back and then put on the attack. And then he would find space where if he ended up being on the left and it was crowded, he then moved to the right. It was just intelligent play to just give options for the attacking sense. My God, that's what I'm saying. Everyone could have a claim for man of the match. But Kane, of course, he scored 2 goals. He's, you know what I mean? He's Harry Kane, isn't it? And he scored 2 goals, a wonderful bloody well penalty. So, of course, I can't argue with that. But everyone could have a claim tonight, definitely.
Yeah, I think you said it all there, Rick, because, so many players, had great performances. Again, as they did at Liverpool in that 1-1 draw, which we probably should have won. Craig, let's come to you. Of course, some fans, even Gary was in the toilet when Heung-min Son scored the 3rd goal for Spurs. A number of fans hadn't even gotten back to their seats before we went 3-0 up. Talk us through that goal, because Heung-min Son, he always seems to score important goals. He loves scoring at the Spurs stadium, and another goal against Arsenal.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That really killed the game, didn't it? As if it wasn't one already. But what impressed me about that goal, Sanchez played a lovely ball into Kane's feet, and it was the confidence he had to play that ball, because the easier ball was just to Dyer. He didn't. He took the risk. He was brave. He played the ball into Kane's feet. Obviously, it stuck to Kane, rolled the defender, and I don't know whether he got a toe to Son. It broke to him, and obviously just slotted it away, and it was fantastic. What's that say, Craig? What did that say? Sorry, I didn't see that.
Is this running joke about they think that Ricky's on the toilet?
He is on the toilet.
I am on the toilet. It's the quietest room in the house, but don't worry. It's only when we go off of line that I'll do the flushing. I won't do it online. I'm gonna wait.
I was gonna say, I hope you got your trousers pulled up.
No, don't worry, I have.
Yeah, no, great. It killed the game, Chris, and yeah, fantastic goal in the first minute of the second half, I think. I'm not surprised. Yeah. I'm not surprised. You could see the fans coming back down the stairs to take their seats in the south stand there. So yeah, I'm not surprised a few people missed it.
And I think that's a good point as well about, like, Sanchez is so much better on the ball when he's playing it forwards. If he's kind of tentative, he's turning to face his own goal and to play it back to Hugo or play it across to his fellow centre backs. He's not as confident when he's got the ball and he's looking at the play in front of him. He's so much more confident, and also he has got some ability on the ball, not just for the long aerial ball, but like Craig said there, to feet, that long kind of pass to feet that can dissect the midfield. So yeah definitely showed the advantage we can have when he actually does play.
Just another quote from Conte. He said, in 6.5 months, we worked step by step and I got to know the players much better. They understand me much better and why I get angry, like you remember against Burnley. They're improving much better, not only on the pitch, but mentally. And for me, it is the mental side of it, isn't it? He's given them that confidence to believe in themselves and each other. And it showed tonight. Yeah.
The press conferences will be available on this channel later on today. And can I just say that there is nearly 1,000 people watching this live stream on YouTube at the moment. So if you don't subscribe to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button and also hit that like button as well. It'd be nice to get over 1,000 likes before we end this stream this evening. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, do hit that follow button as well. And thank you so much for watching in the last couple of weeks, because we have gone in the top 21 in the football podcast list in the Apple chart. So thanks so much for that. Rich, let's come to you. I wanted to talk a little bit about Heung-min Son. As Heung-min Son's one of my favourite players. Always seems to deliver in big games. 21st Premier League goal of this Premier League campaign. He's broke his own records. He's won behind Mohamed Salah. Do you think he's going to get the Golden Boot this season? But being that the fact he's going to play Burnley and Norwich.
I was just about to say he's got two great opportunities, hasn't he? And we've got that momentum now. And Craig said earlier, when he came off, he's got that hunger. He's got that. Obviously, in the back of his head, he's like going, I've got 20 more minutes. I can maybe have another couple of chances against Arsenal. He's definitely going to have chances against the two remaining games, obviously at home, where he is so lethal, and then hopefully he can take that form into that away game. And Sonny, obviously, he always says in his press conferences, it's not about me, it's about the team. But all great players always say that. But he loves scoring, loves it. You can tell he loves the opportunity to get in front of those two sticks and put it in the back of the net. I think against Burnley he's going to have chances, but definitely against Norwich. And let's try and not only get that Champions League spot, but also get Sonny the Golden Boot as well.
Wouldn't that be nice? That'd be awesome. Ricky, what else could we say about Heung-min Son? Because this guy always seems to deliver, doesn't he?
Oh, mate, he is like Ramon Vega always says. He has turned into Mr. Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? So a big shout out to Ramon. I know that he was enjoying this game tonight. I saw his tweet that he saw Wenger, so I hope that he just gave him a little text and just said, nice game. Do you know what I mean? But no, Sonny's next level, bro. Sonny's next level, and for me, it was just so good to see him upset walking off the pitch today. The fact that Conte has kind of said to him, and it was good to see Conte give him a cuddle on the pitch before it like cut to the ads and stuff like that, and to see Sonny smile, because what he's done now is he's fired up the dog. Do you know what I mean? Like he's got the dog growling, and he's got him, pinned in the cage, and like ready for Burnley. If you want the boot, if you want the golden boot, you want to be top scorer. All right, make sure you get the goals. You know what I mean? 12:30 on a Sunday. All right, don't talk to me about today's game. Get me the goals on Sunday. Get me the goals. And it could work. It could be a masterstroke that Conte's pulled there by bringing him off and being that hungry, knowing that he could have scored another one. Like he could feel it on the pitch. He could see that the Gooners had given up at that point. That their only kind of game was to consolidate and to kind of contain it and keep it 3-0. That was their only game plan at that point. And I think Sonny felt that he could have maybe nicked another one and gone level with Salah. But I love the hunger. I love that he was upset. He's so gracious. He's so humble. He's so giving for the team that I like to see that he's upset about something that could be considered selfish. Do you know what I mean? A little accolade. Do you know? It could be considered that. And he's not that guy. He's for the team. But I like to see him upset for that, because that means he's going to be hungry for Burnley. He's going to be hungry for Norwich. Oh, bro, like I got my fingers crossed. And it would be the cherry on the cake for him to get the golden boot this season. My gosh. Come on, Sonny. Come on, son.
It really would. And as you said earlier, Craig, we could have scored, a lot more than 3 goals. In the 59th minute, a cross come in from the left, Emerson header, Ramsdale made a good save. That was another opportunity for Emerson.
It was, yeah. He could have had one in the first half, as we mentioned earlier. I mean, he was getting him. The important thing is, I've always said, he's getting himself in those positions, which I think we've seen the last couple of weeks. Conte's obviously just, like Ricky said, simplify the game. Just do your defensive work, because he's actually not bad at that. And don't worry too much about, he's not going to be this wing back that bombs up and down like a Kyle Walker or whatever. He's just not. You're not going to get that from him. But to see him in those positions, actually getting on the end of crosses rather than whipping them in himself, it was great to see him in those positions. And that header, it was a good save by Ramsdale, but if it had been a little bit further to the right, I think he would have scored there. So it was good to see him getting in those positions. So yeah, and he's had another good game tonight, hasn't he? He had a cracking game at Liverpool, and he's had another good game tonight. And I think, like you said earlier about the wing backs, Sessegnon and Royale are the only 2 we've got at the moment that are wing backs. If one of them gets injured in the next game, you'd like to think it's only Norwich. I say only Norwich. God, you watch them go and beat us now. But you could cover that position. Is what I'm getting at. If you was without a dedicated wing back for the Arsenal game, you might worry. But I think you could get away with it for a team like Norwich. So, we've still got to do the business, and all we can do now is win our games. We just get 6 points and see where it takes us. And of course, I want the Champions League. Of course, I do. But by the same stroke, I wouldn't be massively gutted for ages if we don't get that 4th spot, because we're guaranteed the Europa League. Yes, it's not where we want to be, but we could win that next year if we're in it. I personally, I don't think we're in this place where we could win the Champions League, but you could. Are you still going to attract the players that he wants? I believe we can if we're in the Europa League anyway. I think the draw of Conte, the stadium and everything else, and the team players, we signed Romero when we weren't in the Champions League, and you've just got to look at Bentancur and Kulusevski. We do get these players in that, it's not going to be the Messis and the Ronaldos, but they don't have to be. It's proved that. You get the players that gel well with the team and the players Conte wants. I think they're going to look, are they going to choose Arsenal or Tottenham over Champions League? I genuinely don't think. For me, if a player wants to purely play in the Champions League and don't care who he plays for, then you don't actually want to come to your club. You want players that want to come to your club. And that's like Kulusevski and the Bentancurs, and the Romeros. So for me, it's not the be all and end all. Of course, I'd love it. But if we don't get it, you know, we're going to try our hardest to get there. Of course we are. And I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but don't think that we lost out if we lose out on Champions League because of the Brighton game or because of the Brentford game. It's not. It's the two losses at Chelsea. It's the Man U loss. It's a culmination of over a season, and you end up where you end up because you deserve to end up there. In a cup, you can sometimes win a cup, and you might think, "Oh, I've scraped through that. We didn't really deserve it, but I'll take it." Over the course of a 38-game season, you generally end up where you deserve to. So whatever will be, and we've just got to hope that Newcastle or Everton do us a favour. And talking about Everton, would it be nice to go to the last game and Dele Alli come up with a winner or something to draw? How poetic would that be? How poetic.
I've heard that from Spurs fans. Great.
I
can see him dropping points though in one of those games.
I think Newcastle's going to be tough.
Trippier free kick. Trippier free kick. Come on.
That's it. Trippier free kick and the Dele Alli header, yeah. We'll come on to that shortly. Rich, let's stay with you. 62nd minute, Harry Kane from outside the box, goalkeeper saved. Just a minute later, Sessegnon crossed to Heung-min Son. Sadly, he missed. In the 71st minute, something that really pleased me, Steven Bergwijn actually getting the last 20 minutes of the game. Of course, Lucas Moura coming on as well, Son and Kulusevski coming off. What did you make of their 20 minutes or so, Bergwijn and Lucas?
Yeah, cameos. Obviously, Lucas showing that he's still got it on the ball and sometimes carries it a little bit too much and loses the ball. But I think obviously you've got to utilise your weapons, haven't you? And at that point, the game was already won. We've got bigger games to play after obviously the Arsenal game and save Kulusevski and Son's legs. It's clear what Conte was doing. He's a great man manager, mentally and physically, and you could tell, like the boys were saying before, Sonny was taken off, and he was pissed because he wanted to play the 490, but that's obviously keeping him hungry, and obviously Kulusevski, he's done so much. I'll be interested to see how much winning he did, because he chased and chased and chased, just like Sonny does every game, chases now. So I think great to get Stevie and Lucas on. They didn't do a massive amount, but they didn't need to. It was just about obviously that game time, and that's like obviously Davinson Sanchez. Obviously he came in after having a couple of cameos for the team. That might be the case where Lucas or Stevie might be needed in the last couple of games, where obviously you might need to come on and take that position. I think it's really important that you've got a strong squad. Like I said before in previous podcasts with you, Chris, that at the moment, squad-wise, it's not as strong as it needs to be, especially if we're going to push up from fourth to challenge. And at the moment, we've got a strong 11. And if any of those kind of elements gets injured or loses form, then we are struggling. With 2 games to go, we really need to dig in as a team, use this momentum and drive forwards, and then create some pressure. Remember, we're playing before Arsenal play. We win the game against Burnley and we win well. I think that's important as well. Win well, it puts more and more pressure on Arsenal when they're playing Newcastle away.
Absolutely. We'll come on to that in a second, Rich. Rick, let's come to you. In the 80th minute, a crossing from the left on an Arsenal attack, Odegaard shot straight at Lloris. It just wasn't their night at all, was it?
Listen, bro, every time Lloris made a catch, I love the crowd tonight. It was like it was easy. Do you know what I mean? Even the Olays tonight, when we were just passing it, knocking it around, and the crowd, bro, I was just it. For me, I wanted us to carry on attacking, and I really wanted to put the, like the 4s and the 5s and the 6s past them, and just kind of destroy them tonight. But the fact that we kind of just demoralized them, mate. Like we took everything out of them. They had no fight. They had that little shot, like you say, from Odegaard. But then anytime they had something, Lloris was there to sweep it up, to catch it, to keep it calm. That's what I'm saying. Not only did he make saves, but he really led. His chest was up. He was making sure that everybody had their eyes on the swivel. Do you know what I mean? And their heads in check. Oh, bro, like
your
get the goodness,
acoustics
bro.
in the toilet must be ace as well.
Do you know what though? When Craig read that quote out from Conte earlier about the about the fans, when it was that atmosphere tonight, it felt like a Champions League night. It just felt like one of those special nights, which really all of us fans want to witness every single home game, because it is all about making your home stadium a fortress. And I think that we can do that under Conte.
Oh, absolutely, bro. Like we said in the last show, the one thing that we asked for this season, because of the turbulent upsy downsy seasons that we've had previous to this, all we asked for was progression. And not only have we seen progression, but we've seen what happens when it comes down to the crunch. Now, people want to call us, but, I don't even want to say the words to tell you the truth, but, people want to get on Tottenham's back for not getting over the line, let's say. Today, when it was time to get over the line, my gosh, did they. Not only with the performances that they put in, but with the control and the domination. But the crowd was on them. The crowd lifted them. That tifo display that they done today, let me tell you, if you're at home right now and you was in that stand, it looked phenomenal. The energy that everybody in the stadium put onto the pitch tonight, we felt. Let me tell you, I was at home. I was with, like I said, I was with my dad and one of my brothers. Listen, we all felt it. It was tingles, and Conte can feel it as well. And he knows he's got something special. I said in the last show, the one thing that he loves is going up against the best. And in the Premier League, he's going up against the best. It's the best teams, the best players, the best managers. And he's going to relish that challenge. And he knows what he's got with Tottenham right now. Do you know what I mean? He knew he had an idea of what he could have. But right now, he knows. With a few more tools in the toolbox, Chris. Do you know what I mean? And a few more tools that Conte wants. My gosh, how far can this team go? And that's what excites me right now. Not only the progression, but what comes next. Let's go. Let's have it, man. Let's have it.
I did wonder when we were going to talk about your toolbox. We've got over an hour.
He's been playing with it while he's been sitting on the toilet.
Oh my gosh!
Talking about getting over that line. Now, the line that we really need to get over is from 5th into 4th. Now, let's look at the Premier League table. Craig, let's come to you first. Now, both teams, Arsenal and Spurs, have now played 36. Arsenal have won 21. Spurs have won 20. They've drawn 3. We've drawn 5. They've lost 12. We've lost 11. They've got a goal difference of plus 11. We've got a goal difference of plus 23. They have 66 points. We have 65. We're now 1 point behind them. 6 points to play for. This Sunday, we play Burnley, 12 noon kickoff at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So we play first. Now, if we win that game against Burnley on Sunday, we will go into the top 4, 2 points ahead of them. They then play Newcastle away at St James's Park on Monday evening. And then, of course, the final day of the season, we play Norwich City away exactly the same time as they play Everton at home. Craig, how do you think this is going to pan out? Where do you think Spurs will finish, 4th or 5th?
Do you know what? I can't even give you a guess, Chris, because it's almost like I don't want to jinx it. But I genuinely think even though Arsenal have got the points advantage, I think we're in a slightly, very, very slightly better position. But we've got to do the business our end. Burnley have had a few good results lately, but they've dropped off, fairly recently. I think if you don't beat Burnley at home, with all due respect to Burnley, then you shouldn't even be challenging for the top 4. They're there. We need to beat Burnley first, get that job done first, and beat them convincingly, like Richard said, and then all the pressure's on Arsenal. I think a sign off to St James's Park. The Geordies are some of the most passionate fans out there. They've consolidated their place in the Premier League. They're going to want to sign off with a good display at St James's Park in preparation for all the business they're surely going to do over the summer and improve. So, they're not going to roll over Newcastle. They never just roll over. So it's going to be tough for us, but we've got to do the business first. And then, obviously, as I said before, we just win our games. But I think even though Arsenal have got the points on the board, if you're going to push me for an answer, I think we're just going to edge 4th. I do think that. But
I agree.
I genuinely think that. I think the longer Newcastle, let's say we beat Burnley, the longer Newcastle keep them at bay, they're going to be panicking. And you've got to look at the defenders they've got out now. I think, was it Gabriel got injured tonight? You know, and Ben White, for some bizarre reason, he wasn't brought on tonight. Whether he was saving him, I don't know. But, you know, they've got troubles at the back there. You know, they're basically their first choice back four are out. So, you know, it's St. Maximin running at them. You know, the Newcastle are no mugs. So get our job done, and then we can sit back, hopefully Monday night, and see Arsenal drop some points against Newcastle. But let's get our business done first, because that's all we can do. Because if we don't beat Burnley, it's over. So, yeah, it's not an ideal time, though, is it? 12 o'clock on Sunday. But they weren't very kind to us, the Premier League, with that. But it is what it is, and we just got to go with it now.
But it's much better that we play first, though, Craig, isn't it?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. It's massive. Yeah, before kick-off, hopefully, on the Monday, we'll have had a day in the top four, you know, and they'll have had a day to look at that and reflect on that and know the pressure's all on them. So bring it on. Let's get our job done, though, first.
Rich, how are you feeling about it? 4th or 5th?
Oh, wow.
I love your face, by the way, when Craig said Arsenal have got problems.
The problem is that all through the podcast we've done, I've said fifth, all through, everyone. Now, I can see Arsenal dropping points, 100%. And if they lost a game and we drew against Burnley, we'd still be above them. I don't see that happening. I see us winning the last 2 games. I see us beating Burnley to 0, and the same with Norwich. It's whether Newcastle do us that favour with the pace that they've got. If Sam Maximum's playing and he's on song and has a worldie, then that could do us a massive favour. At least kind of dent their confidence. The Everton game, I wouldn't want to leave it right for them at home against Everton. Yes, the fighting possible relegation, but it looks like Leeds are going to go down with, obviously, they're just imploding. I think we need like Craig needs to be getting not just one Newcastle shirt. I think he needs to be getting plenty of Newcastle shirts for everybody, because we need to have them all on. We need to be like praying after that Spurs game, and let's hope that one of those teams can do us a favour. I think we've got that momentum. Arteta, in his interview after the game, you could tell physically he was rocked by not only just the result, but how he was beaten. The players had no response. Odegaard was their best player, I would say. On the ball, he's obviously really creative. But apart from that, they didn't really offer anything. And that was probably a real kind of big thing for him. He's got 2 games against 2 teams where he's going to have to be creative to score. Newcastle aren't going to roll over at home. Everton, depending on their situation, are going to want to kind of get a result. I can see Arsenal dropping points, and then since you want me to say 4th or 5th, I go for 4th.
Wow, you finally changed it.
I know, because I've got to say that. If I said 5th, I get slated, and then all my Arsenal mates go, "Ooh, you beat us, and you're still going to think you're coming 5th." So yeah, I've got to go 4th.
Rick, how are you feeling? 4th or 5th?
Mate, I told you, I'm getting more confident by the game. When I see performances like against Liverpool and today, it fills me with confidence, bro.
He's concentrating on his number 2, never mind number 4.
In it, do you know what I mean? But you know what? Like firefighters, right? Firefighters, they can either fight the fire or they can fly away from the fire, right? And if you look at Tottenham, we are dealing with the fire and we're fighting the fire. If you look at the Gooners, they fleed, they flew, they gave up today. Not only did we get rid of all of their attacking play and all of their threat, like you said, Odegaard is maybe their best player today, but they, at 2-0 and 3-0, that as soon as they got the man sent off, they just started to give up. So you tell me who deserves to be in 4th spot. Somebody who's fighting for it, somebody who's up for it, somebody who's got the momentum for it, somebody what really wants it, or somebody who runs away when the fire gets hot. Do me a favor. See you later, Gooners. We're gonna get that full spot. We're gonna get it in style as well. They're gonna collapse on themselves. Not only are they gonna lose against Newcastle, bruv, but they're gonna get a couple sent off as well. Don't think Xhaka ain't gonna get sent off. Don't think somebody else in their defense ain't gonna get sent off, bruv. It's happening. They're gonna implode in themselves, and I can't wait. Please, I'm speaking it into existence. I'm speaking it into the universe. We're going to get that full spot. We are going to get that full spot. And you know what? We're going to deserve to have got that full spot. Because if they get it over us, oh my gosh. You know?
I'm going to ask all three of you for 4 predictions. So let's start with the Tottenham v Burnley game. Craig, do you think that Antonio Conte will set up with this same team? If Romero comes back in for Sanchez, would that be fair that he comes straight back in?
I think at this stage of the season, you've got to play your strongest team that you think is going to get you the result. So I think if Romero is fit, he'll come back in for Sanchez. If not, Sanchez has proved tonight against Arsenal that he can do a job. So, you know, I hope Romero's back, but I think he'll go with the same 11, yeah.
And score prediction for that game?
Score prediction, I'm going to go 3-0 Tottenham.
I agree. I'm going to go 3-0 as well. Rich, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a confident display. I think Burnley are always quite powerful in the air, so I think they're going to score from maybe a set piece, a corner or free kick, but I think we'll win 3-1.
And Ricky?
I think we'll concede.
I'm with you, boys. I think it's 3-0, and I think that the fact that the three of us have said that, like, I think we might need to put on a small bet with maybe the sponsor William Hill. Do you see how I got that in there for you, Chris? You see how I got that in there for you, bro?
No.
They'll love you for that,
bro. I got you.
Ricky's after a deal as well. Ricky's after a side deal. Hook him up, Chris.
Actually, yeah, for all of the latest betting offers, do visit the William Hill website and download their app. Yeah, I better get that in now.
I can't say that. I'm an athlete.
Right, so we're all agreeing that come Sunday afternoon, Spurs will be sitting in the top 4. So the interesting bit now, Craig, let's come to Monday evening. Arsenal travel to Newcastle. That means that they will be 2 points behind us if our predictions are correct. What's their result going to be?
I think it'll be a 1-1 draw.
I agree with you again.
There you go. See, great minds. I think Newcastle will score first. There you go. There's another prediction. Rich,
what about you?
Oh, yeah, I think Arsenal will score 2-1. 2-1 Newcastle. I think Newcastle will win that. I think Newcastle will win that. I think the new, obviously, Brazilian guy they've got, he looks impressive at home. Joe Linton's obviously inspired in the centre of the park. I think be very similar what's happened today. They've got quick players on the break. Yeah, 2-1.
Rick, what about you?
I agree with Rich. 2-1. 2-1, and they get another man sent off. Easy. At a minimum. 2-1, I'm telling you. Trippier's going to have a hand in some of the goals. I don't know if it's going to be an assist or a goal himself, but I see it happening. Newcastle are going to do him 2-1. Last game of the season, even our friend Kimberly said it the other day. Last game of the season, in last home game for the Geordies, you know, they're going to be up for it. It's going to be like a bank holiday Monday for them.
Man.
The sun's going to be shining. The weather's going to be sweet. They're going to be up for this game. They're
grounds all over the place. Yeah,
and they're going to do the same to Newcastle what we done with Tottenham today. They're going to be, the crowd are going to be that 11th, the 12th, 13th, 14th man. And get them over the line as well, because that's what they're excited as well for what's to come for the summer for them, you know, for places, for what's next. They're on a whole different journey right now. So to crown off the last game of the season at Newcastle, at their hometown, bro, they've got to get a win. It's going to be a 2-1, and I can't wait for it, bro. I can't wait for it.
We need to get Anton Deck on the channel quickly, Chris, if you can.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice? So we're all agreeing. All four of us are agreeing that we will be sitting in the top four on the final day of the season. When, of course, we travel to Carrow Road to play Norwich City, who, of course, are already relegated, and Arsenal play at the Emirates Stadium against Everton. So, question for you, Craig: are we going to win at Carrow Road?
Yeah, the bottom line is if we beat Burnley, it goes to the last game of the season regardless, doesn't it? So I think we'll have too much for Norwich, whatever the situation, and I think we'll. I was going to say boring saying 3-0 again, but I can see us turning Norwich over. I think they've just gone now, so I'll keep it interesting. I'll say 3-1, but I think that could easily be a 3-0 or even a 4-0. To be honest, if we get one, we'll get 2 or 3. To be honest. Yeah,
I'll go with 4-0 and a Heung-min Son hat-trick, and then of course, he gets the golden boot. Rich, what are you going for?
Yeah, same as you, mate. 4-0. That's what I was going to go for. Yeah, we could get a hatful of goals. It could be like obviously Spurs of old away. We could get like 5, 6, 7, but I think the 4-0 for me.
Ricky?
I agree with the boys. The shackles are going to be off on that last day of the season.
Ricky's had loads of beer. You can tell Ricky's had beer.
Oh, look, I'm finished. mate. This is what I'm saying. This is where we're at. I'm finished. But listen, I can feel it, mate. I can feel it. Going into there, the shackles are going to be off. Son is going to be going for golden boot. Harry's going to be on it like a bee in a bonnet. Why not? The boys are going to be all over it. That's going to be a celebrational game as well as a game that can certify our top 4 status in the league, man. And I can't wait for it. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you damn Spurs. Come on.
So if all our predictions come true, we will be in the Champions League next season. Now, Craig, let's come to you first. And I want to ask you all this question. Antonio Conte, of course, he has worked his magic. He said he's not a magician, but I believe he is. To get anywhere near that top 4, even if it was a Europa League spot and we did end up 5th, it shows real progression and it shows great club direction as well. But I would feel so much more comfortable going into the summer knowing Antonio Conte has signed or been given a brand new contract. Do you think this is going to happen?
As I said earlier, I just can't see him going anywhere unless he has a massive falling out with Levy, which I still don't think is going to happen. I think there would have already been discussions about. I don't care what he says in the press and to Sky or whatever. They would have discussed this. They would be looking at players now. They would be earmarking players they want to go for. Clubs are already doing it. You've only got to look at Haaland, players like that. They will already have had those discussions. So I just still don't think Conte's going anywhere. And I think if we get top 4, I think he will be offered a pay rise and perhaps another 2-year deal. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But as I've said before, I can't see Conte going anywhere, regardless of where we finish, but especially if we manage to get that top 4 place. So yeah, I'm quite relaxed about it, to be honest.
What about you, Rich?
Yeah, for me, obviously, top 4 would be a better kind of option for kind of really getting Conte to sign a new contract, a new improved contract, and that will really help keeping players like Kane at the team, and some of the other players that could be moved on, but also the player development in the future as well. So actually really invest in the squad. Like we know, the training ground is world class, the stadium is world class, and we need to have that team on the field of play now. Conte clearly has shown what kind of value he gives, and that short-term deal that obviously Levy's kind of given him with a little bit of flexibility, I think he's going to want to kind of actually say, look, I actually believe in you and your philosophy on the pitch. We kind of see how it fits now, and especially against certain teams. But now we need to give you those kind of weapons to be able to deliver those games against the Manchester Cities and the Liverpools, but also we can turn over those teams like Burnley when we're away from home. Because I think that's been something that we've been lacking this season, where we've gone on those kind of Thursday night when it's been pissing it down with rain, up to a Burnley where they just kind of have their long ball kind of rough you up game. And we've not been really ready for that. I think Conte needs more kind of weapons for those different scenarios. And I think that's going to affect how he's going to be given that longer term contract. I believe that, like I say, games like today, not just the actual result, also the fans, the players' appreciation of what obviously Conte gives them. They all talk about they're working hard in training, the confidence he gives them. You can clearly see that he communicates, maybe not always verbally, communicates with all the players, even from the sideline. Like you said, Chris, you're watching what he's doing. He's always kind of communicating with the players. And it's not always kind of in a negative kind of get back you out of position. It's more look kind of just educating the players how to be better. And I think Levy really sees that value of how he's educating good players and upskilling them. But if we get some of those world-class players in, that's going to really accelerate the progress of the club.
Rick, when you see a manager like Antonio Conte, and we've praised him enough over these last few months on these shows, certainly, when you see that the work that he has done, surely all of us fans would be smiling even more, knowing that he's going to be at the club for, X amount of time and perhaps a new contract put into place. Do you think that's going to happen?
I think it's going to happen, but I think we need to remember who Conte is and how intelligent he is. So I think that he's going to continue, even though everything is going swimmingly and he's getting the tingles, the hair stand up on the back of his neck, managing Tottenham right now. I do think that he's going to, because he said it, strategy, right? When he spoke about press conferences, bloody hell, the Moretti's hitting my bottom lip. It's hitting here, right here.
That's it, man.
When he said that in the old press conferences, it's about the strategy. And I think that he's going to hold the ball to account. So before he signs any deal, he's going to make sure that we have a successful summer, that the boxes that he's put down on paper are ticked, so that we go into the season not being able to just compete in cups, but to compete in the league. That's where his eye is. That's why it doesn't matter right now whether he gets 5th or 4th. 4th is obviously next level. Investment, guaranteed, money coming into the club, you can spend a bit more. But he's already hit. He's already hit the quota on his contract. He's got us into the Europa League. Like, if we are all real with ourselves, the Europa League was the height of what we thought that we could achieve this season. With what happened with the spending with Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Chelsea, we got to remember how well West Ham were doing at the beginning of the season. Leicester are always a dark horse. So all of these things happening around us, Aston Villa spending money, all these things happening around us. You to be in the top 4 contention, I don't think was a guarantee, or I don't even think that was on the board. I think he said to Conte, get Europa League at least, and European football, and we will give you the funds to invest in the side so that you can compete in the league next year. So regardless, whether we get 5th or 4th, we're going to get the right investment in the right places, and Conte is going to get the tools that he needs for the squad and for us to compete at the very minimum in the league. That's gonna happen. But I think that he's holding off on signing until at least the end of the summer, maybe around Christmas, maybe around February, he might sign the deal, and I think he will stay with us for a bit longer. But I don't think that him not signing is a worry for us. Let it play out. Let him do what he's got to do. Let him negotiate and play the board and hold the board to account, so that the things that he wants on paper are done and dusted. Speak with the actions, not just talk. It's like, show me what you're about, back to chat. And I think as soon as he sees that, he'll sign another deal.
Well, lastly, I just wanted to talk about the summer transfer window, because whether we finish 4th in a Champions League spot or 5th in a Europa League spot, Craig, you touched on this earlier about you don't think it's going to make that much of a difference about quality of players coming in at Tottenham. Now, when you've seen that Bentancur and Kulusevski come in the January transfer window, what do you expect from this summer window with Fabio Pracci and Antonio Conte? How many players do you think that would come in? How far do you think we're going to go? Is it going to be real intention to be going to win big things and competing for Manchester City and Liverpool for the league, or is it absolutely deluded, or is it just going to be going for another top 4 finish? Because like Richard said earlier, Conte's really here to be winning things, to be winning trophies. He's even come out and said in previous press conferences recently, he's not here to be finishing in 6th or 8th place. He wants to win things. So how far do you think that he will be backed in the summer?
I still maintain that he will be back to the level he wants. It might not, as I said before, it might not be the star name players, but it will be players that he wants. I think we'll get in at least 4 players in the summer, and I think you'll see about the same going out the door. And don't forget, we've got to pay for Romero. We've got to pay for, I think we've got to pay Kulusevski, have we? We've got to pay another fee for somebody that we'd already done a deal with. We've got we've got that Sarr, Kulusevski. We got that guy from Metz. Is it Papamate Sarr or something?
Yeah,
is his name. Whether he'll go back out on loan, I don't know. We've got Brian Hill to deal with. What we're doing with him. You've got Lo Celso's got to be moved on. You've got Ndombele that we need to get off the books. So there's a lot of work to do. Personally, I've always a lot of people that disagree with me here, but I watched a lot of Jack Clark when he was at Leeds, and for me, he looked a very, very talented teenager, and I was really excited by the prospects. And he's just not lived up to his billing, but he's been having some good games at Sunderland, so it's really good to see him progressing. So who knows? Perhaps he can kick on. I think another loan for him. Troy Parrott's been knocking in the goals. Keon Atete's been doing pretty well, I believe. So there's a lot to sort out with the loan players, is what I'm getting at, which they'll probably have somebody working on and what we're going to do with that. But as for names coming in, I think we'll see around 4, I'm hoping. But you need to create space in that squad. What positions they're going to go for depends. If Reguilon goes away back to Real Madrid or even to Barcelona, who knows? But I think we need a dedicated right wing back, even though Emerson has been playing well. I still think Emerson probably needs to move on. I think it's time for Harry Winks to move on. Sad in some respects, he's been at the club since he was 5 or whatever. He's a Tottenham lad, but I think for his sake, he needs to go and play first team football. So that leaves the door open for a creative midfielder, another striker, a backup goalkeeper, even though apparently Gallini is very, very, very good around the changing room and the players love him. We need a decent backup goalkeeper. So there's a bit of work to be done. I think, as I say, he'll be backed. And we'll just see where it goes. But I'm looking forward to hopefully getting some deals done early, which would be nice for a change for Tottenham, won't it?
Yeah,
you know?
Sure.
Like City have done with Haaland. And the other part of the question is, the thing is, to compete with Liverpool and City, I think you'd be a bit deluded to sit here and think we're going to compete with City and Liverpool for the Championship. There's only 4 trophies we could go for next year, and one of them, in my opinion, is we're not going to win the league. So you've got the League Cup, the FA Cup, and whether that be the Champions League or Europa League. As I said before, I don't think we've got enough to win the Champions League or even challenge for it. I know we've been to the final, but we rode our luck on the way, and I think the squad and the team was better than we've got at the moment. So, but if we're in the Europa League, I think we've got a genuine chance of winning that. And I know Conte's not been brilliant at cups, which kind of doesn't match up with what we've all been talking about. But I think we've got a chance to win a cup next year. So it's progression, like you said, Chris. I think it's progression. I think we've got to look to get in the top 4, regardless of what happens this year. I think I'll be confident to push Chelsea. I still don't think they're going to be spending big money. They've got players leaving, consortium buying them. They're not going to be able to spend the money they've been used to. So, you know, regardless of what the Chelsea fans think, it's not going to happen. I think we can push Chelsea. I think if you look at the Chelsea results here, had we beaten Chelsea rather than them beating us, we'd have been right up there pushing for 3rd, which is remarkable to think about. So a lot of work to do. I don't think we're going to challenge for the league, but I do think we've got a genuine chance at winning a cup next year. But let's hope Conte is backed in the summer and we get the players in early before we go on the pre-season tour of Korea.
Rich, what are you expecting in the summer?
Well, you need to look at Conte and the history of what he likes. He likes team to be a strong first team and then try to have a backup in every position. And I think that's where there's going to be quite a few changes. Like Craig says, I think maybe the 4 or 5, and even maybe bring some of those loan players back in, and then just see if they're actually good enough, or they've adapted from their loan spells. Obviously, Ndombele is obviously not going to come back into the fall, but would Gill or would Lo Celso come back in? I'm not sure. But I think he's always left that kind of door kind of open. For me, he needs to have a stronger network of players that he can rely on and trust. And obviously, the reason why those players went out to loan were mostly around he didn't trust them and he didn't want them on the bench, and obviously weren't contributing to the kind of work rate of training. They didn't really contribute to anything. They came on off the bench, and again, they didn't give the team anything else. I think it's going to be a really interesting summer. I, like you boys, would want to see that work done really early, because like Antonius said all the time, all the work that he does is on the training ground. The more time he's got with the players, he can instill his philosophy about how he likes to play as a unit, and then the players obviously know exactly what their jobs are done. If you buy those players really late in the window, you either get players that are kind of looking for lots of different clubs instead of going, actually, I want to play for Spurs because I like Conte, I like the club, I like the philosophy, I can see where they're going. That's the kind of player you want. You don't want to just be going for a player that's going to get 30 or 40 grand more because they're coming to us. You want them to be like driven. Like Kulusevski says, when he signed, he's a player that likes to like batter down doors. He wants to feel the kind of the pain of like playing for a team. And that's what you need. You need those players. It's really important when the going gets tough, everybody sticks together. I think it's going to be a really interesting summer. I'm just praying that Levy kind of puts his hand in his pocket. And I'm going on Sundays, you know, Chris, and I've got director's box tickets. So I'm going to make sure I'm going to speak to Daniel, and I'm going to say, look, mate, how much have you got in your pocket? You need to get that money out, and you need to invest in the team. So Daniel, if you're listening, we need to have that conversation.
Wow, I can't wait to hear your answers on that one. Ricky, so obviously you talk about Antonio's toolbox all the time. What is he going to add to this toolbox in the summer?
Listen, whatever he needs, mate. If he needs a hammer, if he needs a screwdriver, if he needs a power drill, if he needs a lathe, if he needs some sandpaper, I don't care. Whatever he needs, that's what we got to provide. It's not about an 80 to 100 million pound player. It's about what he needs, where he needs it. We need to trust in him, trust in Paratici, trust the football people to deal with the football side of it, and like, let's make it happen. Let us make it happen. It's going to be a topsy-turvy summer for us, like you said about those loans and stuff like that. I do believe that Sarr will go back on loan. I do believe Hill will go back on loan. I do believe that Hill and Clark are very similar in the sense that they're very lightweight, and I think that if they was to bulk up a little bit, they might be able to have a bit more of an influence on the first team, or on, you know, like first team places, even in the squad stroke on the bench. But I think we all need to back Conte, everybody, and I think everybody knows that Levy would be silly not to. It's got to be done. This is the time to do it. Let's not miss out again. Let's not, when the time is right, we miss it by being, you know, not being able to put our hands in our pocket. Let Mr. Levy go to work. Let him provide the funds. We've got some great kind of swap loan deals in the pipeline already. We know that Lo Celso and Torres could be a swap.
That'd be good.
Listen, I love the way that Lo Celso is playing right now, but to me, it shows very obviously that he wants to be in Spain, or he wants to be playing for this team in particularly, because we're seeing in his performances where we've not really seen that type of performance from Lo Celso in a Tottenham shirt. So for me, however well he's playing, wicked. Let's get some money in for you, or let's do this swap deal, because I wouldn't mind that Paul Torres there at left centre back. You know,
can we have a free kick taker as well? We need to have a free kick taker.
We have to, yeah.
That needs to be like, even if they just have like a special team comes off the bench just to take the free kicks,
Who do you want?
Moment,
Ward-Prowse all day long.
Ward-Prowse would be amazing.
You like it? What has he scored? Was it 9 or 10 free kicks this year?
So if you put Ward-Prowse into this team, who comes out?
I mean, he comes off the bench. He comes off the bench, mate. But you know,
so,
there's a left back that's doing really well with crosses and free kicks. I think his name's Sosa. He's a Czech. I think he's Czech. Plays in Germany. Anyway, left wing back. He looks pretty good as well.
To win it because we've got no idea at free kicks. I tell you, none.
Yeah, but do you know what? Look at today, and that's our history. We know we're not good at free kicks and set pieces, but if you look at today, like we were taking some decent free kicks and corners, and we were doing it with confidence.
But if you've got a player that's going to score 9 goals from free kicks in a season, you take that all day, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, Ward-Prowse, I think he's a bit lightweight on the ball, but yeah, maybe he offers some.
But he's Premiership ready though. He's Premiership ready.
Yeah,
and
sure.
He can help switch to a 3 in midfield and almost play like a number 10 or something along those lines there, or come on the wing for a Kulu to make sure that balls get into the box for Kane or Son, or let Conte go to work. If Conte wants Ward-Prowse, let's go get it.
Make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
That's been the real difference, though, Ricky, isn't it? In the January transfer window, having 2 players coming in and walking straight into the first 11 rather than, taking all this time to adapt to the Premier League, etc., which we've never really had before. So quick. They've hit the ground running, the pair of them, and done extremely well. So that's what we want, more signings in the summer, for these players just to walk straight into the starting 11. It's going to be an interesting summer, but let's hope that we do hear that Champions League music again, because let's face it, only 3 years ago we were in the final of the competition.
And that'd be sick in our new stadium as well. That'd be sick.
Yeah,
Q6, man.
Yeah.
That was a taster tonight with the tifo and the atmosphere and the energy, the decibels. That was a taster tonight of Champions League football. I think. Like what can happen in that stadium? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, incredible evening. Thanks so much for the 3 of you coming on this evening, talking about our fantastic victory against Arsenal. Craig, thanks so much for joining us, and tell everyone where they can find you and what you're up to at the moment.
No worries, Chris. Yeah, if you really want to follow me, I'm on Twitter at Demon9. What am I up to? Just celebrating Tottenham's win against Arsenal, to be honest, and looking forward to the weekend and hopefully seeing Tottenham win again on Sunday. So hope everyone's stays safe and well. Glad you're still with us, those watching at midnight. Chris has still got to drive home. Ricky's already on the toilet. So Richard looks very relaxed.
I need the toilet.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks for you're in the right place, Rick. Thanks for sticking with us and listening to 4 happy blokes talking about Tottenham. So it's been a pleasure as always.
And Ricky, thanks so much for joining us yet again. And you're back with us for the Norwich game on the final day of the season. Let's hope that we can get that 4th spot. But thanks so much for joining me again, and tell everyone what you're up to.
Always an honour and a pleasure, my friend. Always an honour and a pleasure, mate. And especially on nights like tonight. I can't wait to be back on with you against Norwich and that last game. That game, I will definitely be popping the champagne, all right? But yes, forgive me for the Moretti going from the bottom lip to the bladder right now. But it's been awesome. And my dad had a message for you, Chris. He wanted to let you know and the boys know and everybody at home that North London's ours, all right? North London's ours. It's lily white, all right? So that's the message from my dad to you and everybody at home. So, but yeah, man, loved it tonight. Let's crack on. Can't wait for that last game with you, mate. Let's have it.
And Ricky, just to make sure you know that we're playing at home.
Listen, Chris, I ain't got time for this, all right? My bladder is holding out, bro. I'm breathing shallow breaths right now. I need to go.
Before we go, last time you were on, you just passed your driving test. How's the driving going?
It's been going all right. No crashes. So everything's good right now, bro. It's been going very smoothly. Thank you. Very smoothly. So thank you very much.
Good stuff. And Rich, thanks so much for joining us again, and tell everyone what you're up to.
Man. As always, just working really hard with my foundation. I've got a a run on the 25th of June in Nottingham. Anybody that's around, those Spurs fans, if you're around. But one thing I will say is everybody that's watching today or listening, you need to obviously hit those like buttons and follow the main man. Obviously smashing it for all Spurs fans, and the work you do is awesome. So yeah, big up Chris, and yeah, keep doing the work you're doing.
Thank you, Rich. And we must meet up for a drink before the Burnley game or even after. So make sure that happens on Sunday.
We'll definitely do that, mate.
Well, Craig, Ricky, Richard, thanks so much for joining me, and thanks to everybody for watching and all of your support on the channel. Let's hope that we can get the win on Sunday, go into top four, put the pressure on, all back in Newcastle on Monday evening, and then, of course, we've just got to go to Carrow Road, pick up the 3 points, and we will be back in the Champions League where we belong under our world-class manager. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next one. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you
Spurs.